It's a quick video I want to do, probably a YouTube, might go straighter onto Facebook than Instagram, but I'll have a link to YouTube. This is a really nice long 5-panel sewn Kozu paper, a high wet strength that I use for making Japanese inspired kite skins. And I did this for, I didn't do it for a friend, I did it and she bought it maybe 10 years or so ago, and she had some rambunctious cats. This was hanging on a wall and they jumped up on it and shredded it. So I'm repairing it. She probably had it in my shop for 4 years, and I just finally got to sewing it this winter, and I am actually repainting some, but I'm reinforcing all the corners with a similar fabric. I'm probably going to wax it as opposed to color it, but there are some patches that I am recoloring. She said go ahead and do that, but I'm reinforcing every joint, and when there's been big tears, I actually wax this thinking I might color it, but again, I want to be very careful with that. So I keep the integrity of the piece. You can see I'm kind of waxing over some of these patches, and I might just wax this on this side and keep it more natural there. I did play with some green over here because these wax lines that are either done with a stylus, I call it a zhaijin. Every country seems to have it for fabric batik. What happens is the wax actually goes and penetrates through the paper and makes almost a little dam. So when you do any painting on it, you can do watercolor, but I use gouache because it's just a little more heavy-bodied and more saturated. So when you put it up to the light, you see the color more. I'm coughing a little just because it's smoky out here. We're getting all the brunt of Washington, Oregon, California fires in Seattle. We're pretty safe, but we're getting everybody's smoke. I'm taking time to do this today because I think it's going to rain in a couple days, so I want to get this done. And I have to do this outside just because the wax is kind of toxic. I usually have it at 212 degrees, I think. This is a hot pallet, so it's just a piece of aluminum plate, and I've got a little electric single burner underneath it. And so I can put wax on this and pick it up with a brush if I just want small quantities. And these are just little baking pans, so you can do bigger pieces there. And then I have just medium here. I do add some modifiers just so it can be a little hotter and a little shinier. And again, these little cedar blocks are just extra, and they're only to hold it down. We've got a slight wind today, so I just don't want this lifting up. So again, just gouache, going to these what I would call wax dams, and you touch a brush to that like I did here, and it just goes and stops right at that wax dam. And I may wax these fully. I'm going to just show you. We're going to take a clean brush, and I'm going to put it in this. It takes a while because the brush is solid. It's colder. It's only 50 degrees, 60 degrees. And now I'm getting it in the hot wax. You could use any brush, really. I'm a little concerned just because, well, I'm going to do it next to where this is lifted. And I'm just going to show you. You have to do it quickly. And sometimes I'll just take this little container underneath, a little measuring cup, and put it underneath and fill it with hot wax, and it'll keep the temperature up a little, and then I can dip this in there. But I'll just show you real quickly. I'm just going to go over here and then just wax that, and you can see it goes through, and if you do it just right now, I can't do much more than that, and the temperature's already gotten cold. And then I might use again these to do lines, as I did over here. You can just see these lines, And I also, after I do some of this, I totally did this patch and wax it. I'll probably take some paper towels on each side and take an old hot iron and suck some of this wax out. So that's what we're doing today, and here's some of the gouache I use, and here's some of the containers I use. I actually like these containers for watercolor, these old Pyrex, because they'll take a lot if I do a big piece. And this is what I do for outdoor studio in this tent, 10 by 10 tent, a nice commercial tent that's lasted me years. And in the winter, I might put some walls up there if I need to do a welding project. But this is really good weather just to keep the shade out. So there you go. That's kind of look at the outdoor studio today, and wax batiking on paper.